Yeah, that's fine. So Eric, AR/VR is the way to go for him.
Yeah, eventually we can focus on that. Carl, would you like, can you actually share the screen, please? And we could, let's say, focus exactly the presentation on AR, VR stuff. And again, Naga, this is going to be an interesting presentation because, again, it's going to be fully focused on you. we had that, let's say, with some, what was it, like a month ago, I think. So we had initially one person, and now basically it's practically converted into a customer. I'm talking here about Ken from United States. And then we had two other people, which again got quite involved because everything is about, let's say, demo of the right solution, specifically to the customer needs. So I think what we could go straight away into is AR VR solution, Carl.
Yeah, a bit of ourselves. That's from the beginning, and then we go straight to the AR/VR. At least starting from those masterpieces design.
Oh, these pictures. Hang on then. Give me a second.
Yeah.
These ones.
Yeah, that's. But let's do a bit of background introduction to him so that he understands where we are coming from, and then we'll go straight to that place.
Go on then. Go for it, Jonathan.
Okay. Yeah, Naga.
Yeah.
Welcome once again. So we are Itoma Lux, and Itoma Lux is we build luxury property brands using our own solutions.
Is that more people entering?
Yeah, Roman.
Yeah, please continue, Jonathan. Hello, Roman.
Yeah. Welcome, Roman.
And we've got another participant, Urban Ecology.
Your mic is off, Roman. I guess you are trying to tell us something a bit.
Apologies, guys. For some reason, I thought it starts at 3 o'clock.
No issues.
Sorry.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe we also here know a bit of Roman so that we don't just get him float in the presentation. If he's an architect, it means we also need to go the full haul. Roman, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, apologies again for.
At least from Nigeria, it's afternoon.
It must be later there, right?
No, it's exactly the same time actually as in UK. Roman is, I think, my old friend or my old acquaintance from one of the organizations.
Yep,
PP Link, if I remember well.
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, good to have you. Good to have you.
Roman, so you're an architect based in London. Maybe if you can introduce yourself in 10 seconds or something like that. And
10 seconds will be difficult, but yeah, I am an architect. I've been living originally from Poland. Have been living in London for 20 years. 10 years I spent working for other practices, and around 8-9 years I've been working developing my own business. And at this moment we're a small practice of 6 people. We do mainly residential architecture.
Okay, thanks for that.
Thank you.
And then we've got also Urban Ecology. If you want to introduce yourself exactly like we are doing now, you can unmute yourself eventually. Otherwise, we will continue with the presentation and take a look. But please free to unmute yourself and introduce briefly. We can see you, but we cannot hear you, unfortunately, Urban Ecology.
Let me see now. You can hear me?
Yeah, now it's much better. Thanks.
Let me see. Now you can?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Perfect. Hi, my name is Jose. I'm an architect. Urban Ecology is an architect firm. We're using technology. I used to work in Heineken doing digital transformation, and then I put my office in Mexico, and now we're working in Brazil. So what we did, apply all the technology that I did in Heineken and put it to, well, introduce in the architecture, right? Like data analytics, advanced analytics, augmented reality, and it's working really good, and it's working a lot with real estate. So yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, well, thanks for that, and also for intro to the technologies that you're using. That's exactly the focus that for today. Again, from our perspective, as Jonathan is going to be presenting in a second, the focus is going to be eventually on the extra technologies that can be used as upsells to architects and so on. Jonathan, back to you, I think, if you want to continue this.
Yeah, Eric, thank you so much. Okay, my name is Jonathan Carlo. I am the sales director for Itoma Lux here in Africa, covering the African market, but I am based in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. And so I have got in this call men that are joining us after Naga. I have got in this call my colleagues. I would like Eric to introduce himself for benefit of one call.
Yeah, so very briefly, I'm Eric Tomaszewski. I'm the managing director of Itoma. Basically, we've been established in 2017 after over 10 years of corporate experience. I've been working all around Europe and Middle East. That's why I speak a couple of languages, and that's why I also cover basically Europe. Now, back to Carl, maybe. Carl, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Thanks, Jonathan. That's me down the bottom there with my lockdown beard. I'm based also in London, typically English and pretty much only speak English. So hence why I look after the UK, anywhere English speaking in Europe, and also North America. I'm a project manager actually by trade. I did 17 years as a commercial project manager, building hotels predominantly. So been around the block a little bit and joined these guys. And Daria, over to you in India.
Thank you, Carl. Hello all, namaste, as we say in India.
Namaste.
So I thank you. So I look after Asian and Australian region for Itoma Lux, and I am BITS Pilani pass out and started my career in sales and business development. And we have been developing these solutions for real estate industry. And if you have any queries from the mentioned region, that is Asia and Australia, I'm your guy. Thank you. Back to you, Jonathan.
So thank you, Daria. Like I said, I am Jonathan. I will again borrow from Daria and say namaste because we are a team, a global team. To our friends who are coming from India, and good afternoon to others who are coming from other regions. So we are Itoma Lux. At Itoma, we build luxury property brands using our own solutions. And our solution helps you, helps your off-plan and on-plan sales and include lockdown mitigation and your brand building. And your brand building. And so the value chain that we bring here is that at Itoma, we enable you as an architect or the designer to upsell with our solution, upsell with your customer who is a property developer. So we are bringing you solution that will help in the upsell of your business. And look at off-plan and on-plan. When we talk about this, we simply mean at off-plan, we mean properties, solution that helps you in properties before they are actually constructed, and on-plan, existing property or that which you have at the secondary market. So we look at our customers. Our customers, especially in the world we are now, are disaggregated. They are in real estate agents. They are also brokers and realtors. And then we have as customers, property developers and consultants and architects, especially who architects are those interest we are covering in this webinar, because we have got other aspects of webinars that we do for these other clients of ours or customers of ours.
Cool. Should
Yes,
we just
yes.
skip through
Yes.
these bits?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to come straight on to here? We're going to start.
No. You could go back. You could go back. So this webinar actually is to present to you solutions you may not be using currently, but we strong believe that it will help your upsell to your customers, especially to property developers, and then that will bring in more business for you. This, in fact, we know the solution aligns with your form, function, and structure, which are the essential elements of what you engage yourself in the designs that you produce. Yes, let's go. So when we are talking about your forms and structure and function, we are simply looking at something that aligns with style and the beauty and in the development that you are managing, the space and your customer needs. So over time in history, we have come to see masterpieces like you are seeing at the screen on the screen now, and we want to introduce you as assuming that you are doing this kind of magnificent design. How do you usher your customers? How do you usher clients into these before these are actually constructed? We are bringing the experience wherein your customers will get when you deploy AR and VR. That is what will bring out the mastercraft in the design that you actually are producing. And then at the end of the day, it will drive upsell of your development and then bring in extra cash into your pocket, which is always the main thing that anyone desires. Now, look at the problem. The problem that we are having, yes, we've covered this. Yeah, the problems customers are having currently is in a lot of digitization is required. Carl, could you go back to go up? The customer problems.
That one?
Yeah. So with the need for digitization, the use of virtual solutions as a result of the lockdown that we are experiencing. I've mentioned that lockdown mitigation is part of why the need for virtual solutions. And this is essentially why we are bringing this to you, because at the end of the day, it is something that will present you and present before your client what you are doing that will make him, he really will not feel the impact, much of the impact of what is really going on as a result of the lockdown. Yeah. Yeah, go on, go. Okay, so I have mentioned that with the solution, you are going to experience upsell. That is, the business top line will increase, and then we are going to generate for you content that you share with your client, no matter how disaggregated they are across the globe, because this solution is actually scalable. And with it brings in early feedback, which makes that all the necessary and needed adjustments and corrections are effected within normal or brief period. Yes. Of course. Why do we come here to labor over AR and VR? Now, this has become the biggest thing that is happening, especially in the profession of architecture. Now, we understand that the evolutionary trend of architecture has actually come from, simple designing, primitive way of designing to people becoming very specific in the things that with measurement and all of the needed data being put in place. But with AR and VR, it has become increasingly important that this is ushering a new kind of experience. That's why the growth is at 40% for VR and then 80% for AR year on year. So this growth is an essential ingredient to tell you that there's an increasing uptick in the use of AR, VR because it is the future. And we simply say to you, the future is here today.
Do you want to skip to this bit, or
Say that again?
do you want to skip through this bit, or just carry on?
Yeah, it's the evolutionary trend that I have just talked about. We have crossed from simplistic design to precision design, and then to using CAD to revolutionize the industry. And here we are at the verge of an explosive revolution, which is the augmented and virtual reality, which offers architecture, engineering, and construction a big opportunity. And that is why we are bringing it to participants this afternoon to understand that it is the way to go. So from here, I have just talked about a bit of the theory, and I would like to call on Daria to usher us into some aspect of the practical aspect. Daria, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for having me. So coming to, as Jonathan rightly mentioned about the augmented and virtual reality, we already know that augmented reality is growing at a rate of 40% and virtual reality at a rate of 80%. So through the same, we have our unique solutions that we have prepared in this particular front. So the first solution is augmented reality. As you can see on the screen, these are some of the images. So this is a business card. When scanned by our phone, gives you the feel or your latest project. Now coming to the next video, I guess, do we have the video in the next slide, Carl?
Yeah.
Yes. So here is the video. So here, as you can see, we have a business card which can be scanned by the phone and will give you the model and the floor plan of your project. So we'll now watch a video that is pretty good explained, and it's recorded on the phone screen. So as you can see, based on the actual physical object, whether it is your business card or let's say drawing of any other visual, we can assign it recognizable by the mobile app on the phone, which you can view it in the 3D element. So you can use it and use it for scalability. Once again, we can assign it to your logo. Then with the same mobile app, your customer, staff, or stakeholder, anyone in your business or outside can scan it, scan the logo and see the project assigned to it. So this is one of the examples that we have. So this is just an outer view, exterior view. You can have the floor plans of the same. If Carl, you can move forward. We have also shown you when we have assigned it to a 2D floor plan on page. So there is a 2D floor plan made on the page, and when scanned by a phone, you can view it in the 3D. So this is one of our solutions in the augmented reality field. Moving further from the augmented reality, here we...
Sorry, explain again.
No problem. Take it away. So specifically nowadays, it's all about giving customer the extra touch and the better experience. And how exactly do we do it? So virtual reality is the answer. Well, your customer doesn't need $1,500 glasses like that of Microsoft Oculus or HTC Vive. All your valuable customer needs are an up-to-date mobile and a VR glass that you can send them, which only costs between $5 to $30, and you can ask them to visit your website where you will have the 3D image of your current plan, and customer can use their phone to load this image and can have a 3D user experience of the property. And also, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen, we offer the customization option to select an finally sign off the project. So your clients, that are property developers, can see that what all furnishings will be good for them and all. So I guess, can we be to the virtual reality part? Yes. So the main benefits that we can offer from the virtual reality are, we can provide the option to select the materials, furnishing.
Some
Yeah,
of them are, that's not, it's just going on to that one. Oh, that's not,
okay.
doesn't exist.
No
Sorry.
issues. Yes. So
not
no,
there.
no, I will just explain it. So we
Yeah.
have, that was a simple virtual reality solution that we showed in this particular slide. And then we take it one step further and we call this solution as a Zoom for property. So what exactly is it? So you can be at the same place, at the same time, sit, listen, and discuss about the property as you are in the real environment. So let's say that we are on the Google Meets right now. We can see each other's video and we can talk about whatever we want to present. Similarly, we have made a 3D plan of the whole property. You and I can be on the property at the same time, and I can explain you that this is a 2 BHK, 2 bedroom, 2 kitchen apartment, and then I can show that how exactly does it work. So this is one of the best example, and you would have heard about the virtual tours. So we have really taken the virtual tours in the 3D environment. So as you can see on the screen, the bottom left is the video, and there are nearly 4 participants that have joined the room. So you can explain them what exactly are the requirements. There are the customization option. So you can show them the option that these are all that you can get. These are the furnishing options. This is how your apartment will look once it's prepared. And you can help your property developer upsell, make upsell with their final clients, the final property owners. So as these are the online solutions, this can be delivered anywhere in the world, and we can only do it from the drawings that you can provide us. And well, it's all about business, so it's to enable the sales. And I guess, Carl, you can just forward and show them that how exactly it works. So these are the customization options that we can provide. And as you see the bot structure, so bot are the human beings who have human beings like us who have joined the webinar or joined the particular property event. They can be at the same place. You can see their face on the bot structure, so you can talk with them and discuss about the property in detail. So that we call this solution as Zoom for Property for better understanding. So its real name is guided virtual tours. Now moving on to the next solution, that is interactive selector tool.
There you go.
Yes, there we go. So here we have our most promising solution, which you can use for the upsell. So we call it interactive selector tool. It's next generation property tool, not only for the sales and marketing, but also for the brand building. And you will be able to see the same in the current video. So here you have the 3D building where your customer can look at it from different angles. Also, they have the options to select as per the preference. Now we have divided it into 4 different levels. So the first is gallery view. So in gallery view, you can directly see the images from here itself. The next level is basically surroundings. So if you are a family person, you can look at the options that if I want to send my child to the school, or if I am a couple, I can look for the entertainment, dining options nearby. So that explains in our level 2, that is surrounding. And the third level is local facilities that are provided in the development. So in the local facilities, let's say that you have gym options, you have swimming pool options, parking options and all. You can show the same in the facilities and the third level that we have provided. And the final level is basically unit search. So if you want to buy the shoes, you will go to online store like Flipkart or other online websites. You will put up the filter that I want Nike shoes 11 in number, black in color. It will give you the options. Similarly is the case over here. They can put the filters like surface area. If my budget is $300,000 and I want 2-bedroom apartment, they can put the filters and look for the options that are still available, which are sold and which are still reserved. So these are all the different levels that we provide. And the main benefits are sign off, customization and upsell. So these were some of the most premium solutions that we have to offer. And I would like to welcome Carl for briefing you about some other unique solutions that are up to us and we have little competition in the market. Please, Carl.
Daria, thank you very much. I'm sorry, well, hopefully that worked okay. You got to see what we were doing. I think I took the animation out of that one before. Right, so this is actually another way, especially for the architects, so Roman, possibly for you, to upsell and actually sort of get involved at an earlier stage. This is something we did for a client in the south of England, actually in Kent. Roman, you'll know, on the Thames estuary. Let me just play this. So basically, these are drone visualizations. So where we go get some standard drone footage, that's the top image, and then dynamically we put in a building or this is a development, overlay it onto that footage. So again, great for things like planning permissions, great for visualizations, great for early stages, etc. This one is the RAC, that's the Royal Automobile Club, for those of you not in the UK, based in southwest London. Just outside Surrey, and again, I can show you some pictures of that actually looks pretty much like what we were suggesting on the bottom there. So again, another dynamic 4D, it grows with the image. And this one, the image on the bottom you can see is up in Liverpool. Again, the top one is the drone footage, and we've customized it. Again, when you get a bit close on the top one, you'll see that building is not there. It's just a car park. And at the bottom one, I think if somebody showed you that video standalone, you wouldn't really know that building wasn't there at all yet. In fact, still isn't. And in fact, there's a building going on the building next to it that's already half built. In reality, I wasn't there not long ago. This was on the way. So again, a fantastic visualization ahead of time, long before even an architect maybe gets involved directly with the final details and things. It's really just kind of an overview of what we can do. And then taking that on, something we do a lot of is 4D visualizations. I'll bring that forward into here. This is basically used in things like adverts. We also see it on television, certain programs when they're doing kind of build-based programs. Grand Designs, for instance, use something very similar, where you see it. Oh, I'm turning the music off again. There we go. So it's actually being built in kind of, well, not real time, obviously, but, you see it happening, what's being changed, what's going where, and see it develop and grow into sort of a full-on plan. And again, with architects, particularly in commercial, from where I came from, if we had this kind of thing being used to show how things went together and the order of things, it would have made life so much easier as a project manager myself, in ordering the people on site, basically. So hopefully that made some sense. And then last but not least is one of our more basic solutions, effectively, where we can take an existing building. Again, if you're doing a renovation rather than a new build, we can take a room, and basically you can see what we've got on the left-hand side, and we can kind of virtually furnish it in the first instance, put a kitchen in, show how it would look like. I think, again, you'd agree that the top image or the main image, you wouldn't even know that wasn't real. It just looks like a photograph from there. And again, virtual furnishing. And then we go on to virtual styling as well in a second. So basically the actual exterior and a new exterior, just to make it a little bit more appealing from the marketing perspective, a little bit more curb appeal before you can get there. And again, a fairly uninspiring room into a beautiful room. It's the same room, it's just showing you what someone could do if they really wanted to. And again, same again, just modernizing that room, saving money on, bringing things in, bringing furniture in, rentals, etc. It's very expensive. Last but not least, we did show it very briefly beforehand. This is the bird's eye ISO 3D view, where we just use a 2D image or obviously a series of those and create like a 3D image, effectively giving your client, your end customer, rather than say not your client, the end customer, a much better view of how the layout is. Many end users cannot read plans. I've spent years reading plans, so I'm fairly proficient at it. And it's the first thing I always go to when looking at a building. But many people can't understand the shapes, the size of the spaces. But this gives you a really good feel for exactly how it's going to run. And again, just by creating something like that, it's a fairly inexpensive project, but will make selling it so much easier going down the line. So again, these are things that you can upsell to your end clients, for their marketing and bits and pieces, whereas they might go outsource that previously, but you can bring that all in-house and offer it as a start to finish process. And then just very briefly, let me just flick out that video. There we go. This is kind of how we do it. We can basically work from anything from, obviously, architects giving us fantastic plans, but we can work with sketches. We have a video as well of basically a hotel in Curacao in the Caribbean. We've produced basically from some sketches and some notes. It's ridiculous. And again, we'll create those plans. We'll then send them out to yourself for approval. They'll come back, obviously, with some notes from yourself. We'll amend those things. Goes around in circles until you get your solution. Obviously, the solutions come in different shapes and sizes. Some are files, some are online, some are just images, etc. So depending on what you've had, what you've asked for, we'll send it backwards and forwards. I hope that wasn't too quick and it made any sense. Any questions, give me a shout back or any of the guys in your area, and I'll pass over to Eric to finish off.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Well, again, thank you for coming, let's say, to this webinar. Our main goal here is, really, this is the first webinar for architects, but we've been organizing this sort of events since the beginning of the year. Obviously, pandemic has given a big opportunity to present digital technology to various stakeholders. Our main market are obviously property developers, but again, hence architects work closely with property developers. We believe that some of these solutions, depending on the level of digitalization in your business, could be eventually useful as an upsell, basically where we can supply certain solutions and you can basically upsell them to your clients. And vice versa, if we find, let's say, property developer that is in need of architect of the certain specialty, we can also sell your solutions. So that's a two-way conversation and the big picture for this webinar, gentlemen. Now, if it goes about specifically our business, as I mentioned, our main market are property developers, hence we've got events every Tuesday for different stakeholders, like property developers, real estate agents, brokers, realtors, and so on. And we position ourselves as A to Z supplier of quality, global and scalable solutions, basically for this property market. And again, we try to focus on augmented and virtual reality because exactly as Jonathan has mentioned, they've got the growth of 40 and 80% respectively. So again, there's a high potential eventually for development and saturating this market, let's say, over time, taking a piece of it even. So that's basically, on the technology side. Obviously, we haven't presented all of our solutions. There is much more, and we take consultative approach. But again, that's one side of the business, technology. Second side, which is business, if it goes about the properties, because we also represent some of the properties from property developers, which obviously we haven't covered at today's webinar. What we provide on the business side for property is financial modeling, and we specialize in two types of property deals, but obviously this is not exactly related to architecture. That's why we're not going into this. The main point though is we try to build two-side relationship. So leveraging relationships with both property developers, real estate agents, brokers, investors, architects, and see basically how can we connect the dots where we are a provider and a supplier of the technology that is global and scalable, while on the other side being able to connect the business in various geographies. And that's why, as you can see, basically we've got the team for business development in various places all around the world, covering all of these geographies. So that's more or less, if it goes about Itoma Lux business, we don't only build solutions, we also focus on the business side. Now, moving, let's say, to the next slide, Carl, please. So, if it goes about our strategy, exactly, today's webinar was focusing on the elements of the property technology for off-plan and on-plan sales, but at the same time we source specific types of deals. One is guaranteed rental yield, second one is monthly payment plans, and we've got the webinar coming on 6th of July from the top of my head, exactly focusing on the specific property deals. Now, moving on, as basically the last thing, that's exactly the Q&A session. And again, we've got, today we've got, I think, 3 or 4 people that joined us. We have anything between, I think, 2 people up to 25 or 30 on this webinar. So obviously, this is a possibility to eventually, let's say, unmute yourself, have any sort of chat now, and see if, if there's anything that could be leveraged. Otherwise, I'd like to cordially invite you to the next webinars. So next week basically we've got Daria's webinar on Zoom for Property Solution. So the one where actually you can speak with your customer, let's say directly through the website, present the property in either normal on the computer or in virtual reality. Then in 2 weeks' time, we've got General Proptech, where we present basically, the whole overview of all of our solutions. And then in 3 weeks, basically, we've got the property, a webinar for property investors. So again, every week some new events are happening because again, we try to spread the news. What is, let's say, there on the market? What are the novelties? What are, let's say, the innovative solutions that either we develop or co-develop with our partners? So we are always happy to have a chat with you, and we're gonna definitely follow up with, let's say, some email where you can organize, some sort of a chat with us and take it eventually to the next level. Well, again, thank you very much for the participation over the last half an hour. You can find us also on social media as Itoma London, especially on YouTube, where you can check our portfolio, or on LinkedIn, where we've got basically, regular updates of what is going on in the business, as well as in the technology for property. And if you want to unmute yourself and have some sort of a chat with us, obviously very happy to, because that's, from our perspective, that's basically the end. We're just gonna follow up from this webinar, let's say with an email, and maybe have one-on-one. So any comments from you gentlemen who joined us here today? Roman, Naga, or Urban Ecology? I'm just wondering, really, let's say, are you using AR and VR? That's the main thing.
So the technologies are very much placed in our country, and I mean this is one of the most trending technology that is being used in the real estate. So this is in implementation with few of the A-grade builders in our country, and as I already told you, we just want to implement, I mean, few elements of your concepts which we are doing it already. The application is getting built, and probably 8 to 12 months of time, we may come up to a beta stage. So that is purely onto AI based.
Okay, I'm with you. We are looking
so
also.
Your solutions look pretty much into the market with the current scenarios happening across the globe.
Okay, I see.
So I think we look forward to explore. I mean, the one of the particular solution you have shown for the this. I mean, for the builders. What I can do is like you can share us mail ID or something.
Yes,
The
yes.
directors to parallel. Okay.
Yes,
So we'll have
kindly share your mail ID in the chat. We'll follow up with the mail ID with our calendar links too. So you can organize one-on-one chat. And until and unless we have organized the chat, you can ask the questions over here too. So please go ahead.
Yes. I think very much like post-internal discussion. I think we can look forward for one more set of meeting, how it works. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you for this, Naga. And so Daria, if you can take a note of this one. And if it goes about you, Roman, and Urban Ecology, I'm just wondering, where do you use your AR and VR? Because I think both of you have mentioned this, or at least nod your head in case of Roman when we ask the question of using AR and VR. Where is it useful, let's say, in your architectural value chain?
Well, we've done like a couple of projects that we built the model, the 3D-dimensional model, and we've been presenting the design using the VR goggles or glasses, however you call them. We have a set in the office, and then the result was like a mind-blowing, like a typical reaction when people screamed and they were actually like some of the people said I think as Carl mentioned, like some of the people don't read plans, so it was like we had a very interesting case that we've been working with the couple. Very often we work with the couple. So the husband, he had some sort of like a experience. So he was leading the kind of the conversation. And then his wife she kind of like, she told us later, she just trusted him. I trust my husband, whatever you guys do must look good. And then when she put his goggles on, she said, oh God, this is completely different. This is completely different than I had imagined. You guys must change that. So basically, it just proves that this is a very, very useful tool. Obviously, that comes with the price, right? Not every our client affords that. I mean, basically, our fees increase if we have to use the VR technology or any kind of 3D 3D sketches that we would produce. Sometimes we produce in-house basic SketchUp models. But if we do like a hyper realistic or walkthrough or VR, we would outsource that. So that obviously that costs money. So perhaps it's not that attractive for individual clients, but we've done a couple of projects for developers and not necessarily virtual reality, but like the CGIs, they always help to sell the property before it's built, like off-plan, as Jonathan mentioned, that some properties are sold before they're actually built. So we have an experience with that we the project was at the early concept stage, and we produced some not only the CGIs, but also we helped to produce a brochure for the developer, and that helped him to sell the property quicker.
I'm with you, Roman. So again, we also can produce CGIs and so on, but we don't want to be stepping on architects' toes. That's why we wanted to focus this webinar, again, on something that from the feedback from the market, exactly from the architects, like perhaps yourself, not everyone is using there. So that's why AR, VR, that's one of the things that we specialize in, and we see a high growth there. Hence also a big possibility if you are already working with property developer to upsell certain elements and customize it. And I'm gonna guess, let's say, when you said VR, that would be, let's say, a standalone computer and so on. So the customer has to visit the sales office or your business simply to use it. Is that right?
I mean, basically, we had a discussion in the office that if let's say the goggles were cheaper, we could just give them to our customers.
Okay.
I mean, it never happened, but there was a discussion. Instead of having another meeting in the office, then we can lend you our goggles, and the next meeting will be in the virtual reality. So, well, it never happened. It never happened. Me personally, as you can see, I'm not the oldest person here, but I'm very traditional, and especially the concept stage and the early stages of the projects, I can't imagine those being done online. They have to be in person, because you have to read the person's intention, emotions. You have to buy the sympathy. That cannot be done well online, So basically, even with the COVID restrictions, we would tend to go and see our clients. We have a follow-up meetings on Zoom, whatever. The Zoom has, we're actually using Zoom, has a quite very good tools to mark up on the drawing, save options, quite decent, we have the Zoom Pro, quite decent tools to present to the client. But if this is not too far, and if the client is keen, if they're not worried about us spreading any diseases, then we would go and see them in person.
Okay, I'm with you.
Definitely better from a project management perspective. When I used to get involved in early meetings, you've got to be face to face for a lot of that stuff. But I think this kicks in to use to present face to face as well. So when you're actually there, you're presenting this on screen. As well, and above that, you're just when you're going. Well, so here's the Zoom property now, but this is really for end users. For the sales perspective. So I'm dealing with a company in America at the moment where they're looking to do this. So they'll come to site, do a full VR tour, do a tour of what's there, then do a VR tour with Oculus or something similar. And then go home, and they can actually use this as a configurator, so they can then decide
colors, finishes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a great tool again because, and as they put, particularly women, since there's no one on here, I don't think, women want, they want to choose the colour, but they need the help from their mum, their sister, their best friend, and the lady down the road, so they can all be on this thing together,
Absolutely.
not taking up your time, wasting your time, if that makes sense. So it's a bit of a combo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Roman, I will catch up with you. I need to jump off, actually. I've got another call to jump onto. But Roman, it'd be good to have a catch up, actually, and get a
Absolutely.
bit of
Yeah. Let's perhaps connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could have a catch up. Yeah.
Roman, look forward to it.
Yeah.
Let's have a good afternoon. I'll leave you all to it.
Excellent. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks a lot,
Virtually.
Carl. Yes. Well,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
still we've got a couple
Well
of
done,
minutes.
Jonathan.
Again, I just wanted to ask you, let's say, because again, this is all, it's all starts with the conversation. So again, I've asked whether you are using this offline or online, because as you can see here, basically now on the screen, I've put basically now our online version. And here you can see each other, you can speak with your customer and so on. Obviously, it's not a design tool, it's an upsell to property developer for the end customer. Yes, so it helps them with sales and marketing, and if you are working already with property developers, that's exactly probably one of our most powerful solutions. Because if now someone else, say you, Roman, or anyone who is on this call, would join the same link as you can see here, and again, I can post it, we could speak with each other, we could see each other, we could customize the environment, and so on. Hopefully that makes sense. That's why I ask if you use it offline or online, because that's exactly the value and the solution that we find currently the most popular in the industry, because everything went online, as a matter of fact. And obviously we can prepare that, unlike some Matterport or some other 3D cameras, we can prepare that even before, let's say, the building has been constructed. Right, so thanks for this input, Roman. Obviously, we're gonna catch up with you, so thanks for that. Urban ecology, or maybe if you could tell me your name, please.
Yeah, it's Jose. You can call me Jose.
Of course, Jose. So how did it look for you? What are you using? What's out of this presentation?
Well, right now, like for example, we start also using virtual reality, and we start using more like to impress the client. But now with the pandemic and all those stuffs, we're starting using augmented reality more to present to our clients how it looks in the project. And for us, is working better augmented reality because like you show with a card and with your cell phone, the client can look the project and it can be more immersed in the project, and augmented reality is working for us. But the problem is that, it's a little expensive because we need to create a model and then we have to export that and then we need to work that in, I think you are using Vuforia. We're using also Vuforia. Mm-hmm. But something that maybe we are trying to because augmented reality is something that for us is part of the project now. It's not more like something fancy that we're offering to our clients. It's something that we already need because with all this pandemic, we cannot be really close to the client, and for the clients, it's very easy to look in the cell phone and see how it's looking. So for us, augmented reality is something that we're already using in our day-to-day business. So now the project that we are getting is that, we have to create our model in one software and then we need to export that to Vuforia. And for us, it's taking a lot of time. It's something that we are, we are new in that, So something that I see with you guys is that maybe it's already all in, one tool, and maybe I don't know for example, what do you need? For example, if we use for modeling, we use Google SketchUp. I don't know how you can get the Google SketchUp to a solution that is already using augmented reality.
So basically your question is if we can use SketchUp and eventually, transform your model in SketchUp into this augmented reality. Is that your question? Did I understand that right, Jose?
Yeah, and more. Yeah. It's my question, and my question is, it's easy, it's fast. It's
We don't have
it
any.
do not take too much time like before. It's very friendly. I don't know. How is your solution?
Well, again, if it goes about the delivery time, so first of all, let's say how much time does it take? It can take anything from couple of days up to couple of weeks, depending on their workloads. Really, it depends really on your customer how soon they want to get that. Let's say. So again, timing is not the problem, but the pricing obviously yet, because it needs specific, let's say, skills. That's still a thing. Now, that's why we target property developers, because obviously we see the value. If, say, a property developer that we work with has 100 units, but simply of maybe 5 different types, it still makes commercial sense to bring this extra experience to the customer of, in augmented reality, because per unit price is going to be, let's say, minuscule. Let's say if you price it, say, a couple of $1,000 and so on. And that's the main point. If it goes about the technology, again, we try to ourselves as A to Z supplier of quality solutions for property developers, and exactly as the audience here. If it goes about architects, that's one of the best channels eventually. If we find, let's say, the common ground to speak with property developers and leverage, because obviously they also are looking for both, let's say, the ways to sales and market, as well as for experienced architects that use this sort of technologies. Hopefully that makes sense, let's say, Jose. Y también hablamos español, ¿sí? Tenía una esposa peruana.
Yeah. Great, perfect.
So did you say Mexico, that you're from
You
Mexico?
used to have.
Sorry, guys, because I'm about to start another meeting, so I will have to dash off.
Well,
But yeah,
thank you, Roman, for participating
Okay,
again.
Nice
Roman,
meeting you
thanks for
online.
all.
Schedule it for an hour, so
Then-
we're gonna
Yep.
follow up with
Yep.
you. Thanks a lot, Roman.
Excellent. All right. Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Have a
coming.
good
Thank you.
afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Continuing our conversation, Jose, again, it's what we could do maybe, as we said, we could eventually follow up maybe on something like one-on-one chats, see basically who is your main customer, because that's the main thing. Are you in commercial? Are you in residential? Which geographies are you targeting? Because as you can see, basically, we've got more of a global team, really. So again, we are trying to look after different, let's say, geographies, because everything that we do fits the strategy of being scalable, being, let's say, repeatable, and being quite simple. We work from simple drawings, really, with everyone to build
Exactly,
any of the
because
solutions.
that
That's
would
our
save a
strategy.
lot of time and a lot of money.
Sorry again?
No, that's exactly what we're looking for, because that in that way we can save a lot of money and a lot of time, and that's what's happening right now. Most of my clients that use augmented reality is for commercial, but now I'm looking that also residential is looking for those kind of solutions to make their projects or to make their visualization more friendly, because now the clients do not are just they don't feel like comfort just with one layout in paper. They want more like more solutions to help the visualization. So for me, what I'm looking for is for a solution that's help me to save time and also because if I save time with that kind of visualizations, I can get more clients involved, and start offering a better solution in the market.
I'm with you. So again, let's have maybe something like one-on-one discovery call, see it in a bit more depth, and then take it from there. That would be with me, because again, I'm the guy who speaks Spanish. Eventually, if there would be anything to leverage down the line. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Eric.
Could I have your email? Could you drop it on the chat, please? Because I'm not sure. Have you registered actually for this event, or?
No, you sent me an invitation for LinkedIn.
Okay, let me just check.
But I could hear, don't worry.
So Jose, let me just see basically if I've got your email right, and then we can take it from there. I'm just looking. Jose Maria, JM
That's
at
right.
Urban Ecology. Yes, is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's
We've
correct.
got you. We're gonna follow up, let's say, with the email again, gentlemen. If there is anything else we would like to discuss with any of you, Jose or Naga, obviously we're open here. At least I've got my schedule clear after these webinars. Otherwise, obviously this is the end. We've got another events on, in every Tuesday, basically the same time. So like next week we focus exactly on the Zoom for property. If you'd like to join us again, we focus exactly on how we can help with these online solutions to present the apartments and stuff like that. And then in 2 weeks' time, we've got the general Proptech, not specifically targeting architects, but simply anyone in the community in property. So that's usually our most attended event, with between, let's say, 10 and I think we get 30 people, which we organize on a monthly basis. So if you want to join us, obviously we're gonna send you the links to this as a follow-up on email anyway, and let's have a chat. Naga, you're gonna be definitely, let's say, speaking, let's say, with Daria. Yes, Daria is gonna follow up, and I'm gonna follow up with you, Jose, to take it eventually to the next level.
So the chat, I shared my official mail ID, so you can just share us the next webinar links. Meanwhile, internally, let us run a thought process on this, how exactly we fit into your solutions or how we can customize to our needs, and we'll revert back at that list. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this one.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Nice meeting you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.